Welcome in everybody, and I tell you what, FM26 is just a matter of weeks away. I'm excited. I bet you're excited. If you're not, then there's probably something wrong with you. When you do load up FM26 for the first time, you may well be a club where you haven't got a lot of money. There's not a lot of room to manoeuvre in the transfer market, and that's where this video is going to come in absolutely clutch. It's the best free transfers available at this very moment in time. Of course, a lot of things can change between now and the release of the game, and some of these free transfers may well be snapped up, but if they're not, we're going to have a player for all occasions. Let's get into it. So player number one is bringing us to Takahiro Tomiyasu, formerly of Arsenal and Bologna. Released by Arsenal, they didn't have his contract renewed, but he's a quality player, still only going to be 25 years of age when FM26 drops. He's a fully fledged Japanese international footballer, but what I really like about him, well, obviously he's on a free, it doesn't cost anything, which is great. His versatility, he can play anywhere across the back line, which is an absolute bonus to have in any squad, that sort of versatility. But don't get me wrong, guys, this signing would be an absolute coup. Bags of quality, experience, versatile, costing nothing at all. He's giving me serious Taribo West type vibes off Championship Manager 0102. Get him in if you can. Next up is Renan Lodi, another household name you will be familiar with. Formerly of Atletico Madrid, had a short loan spell at Nottingham Forest. Went to playing Saudi Arabia for Al Hilal, but had his contract terminated, now available on a free transfer. His best position is going to be wing back left, but can pretty much play anywhere down the left hand side of the field. With 16 caps for Brazil, it just shows you he can play at the very highest level, as he showed with Atletico Madrid. This guy can really go for the gears, and he could be a very, very important part of your setup on FM26. He was on £80,000 a week in Saudi Arabia, but I think now, being on a free transfer, he's going to be desperate to play some football. I think you can expect to pay around £40,000, £50,000 per week in wages to try and bring in Renan Lodi to your football club. Up next is another player you're all going to be familiar with, and it is Sergio Reguilon. Formerly of Tottenham Hotspur, Real Madrid, Sevilla. He's played at the very, very highest level of football. And at some point in Spain, many, many years ago, he was actually considered to be one of the brightest prospects in the left-back position. Hence them early caps for Spain. And he's somewhat dropped off since then. But, we say with a big but, has a hell of a lot to offer still. He is going to be another player we see where his attributes do decline. That's a given. But he's got a hell of a lot to offer still. Can play anywhere down that left-hand side. He was literally at one point in Spain touted as one of the best left-backs in world football. So like we said, he's a good player. He's solid. He's got a lot of experience. He's playing at the highest level. On a free transfer, I don't think you can really grumble. Expect to pay anything from about £30,000 to £40,000 a week in wages if you are going to put an offer. And he's still available at the time in Sergio Reguilon. The next player is Hakim Ziyech, formerly of Chelsea Football Club and Ajax. He was in that Ajax team that challenged for the Champions League before Chelsea swooped on him for £35.5 million back in the 2021 season. He was playing his football in Qatar. His contract was ended. The 31-year-old Moroccan will be available. And yes, his physicals might start to diminish a little bit more, but the mentals, the technical ability, he could definitely offer some goals and assists for a top Premier League team still, or anywhere of one of the bigger leagues in European football. For a player like Ziyech to be available on a free transfer, it's absolutely criminal. But for a player of this magnitude and quality, you can still expect to pay, in my honest opinion, around £50,000 to maybe £70,000 per week, even if it's just for a year. So you are going to need some sort of clout, but you should have that if you are one of the bigger teams in one of the top European divisions. But yeah, solid player, Hakim Ziyech. Get him in, swoop on him if you can. The next player on the list, we come to Emmanuel Dennis. He was released by Nottingham Forest, formerly of Club Brugge, Watford. Been a very, very decent player offers a little bit of quality. In my opinion, not really good enough for the highest levels of any European leagues. But saying that, if you're in the Championship, battling for the playoffs, maybe even thinking you can get promotion this year, I think having the experience and the quality of Emmanuel Dennis will be absolutely key. Even if it's just a bench player, he's got tons and tons of pace. His physicals are fantastic and his technical's not so bad either. We may well see a slight decline in him, but I think for a free transfer, can play out wide, can play as a striker, can play in that number 9 role as well. I think you'd be mad to miss out on a player of this quality for absolutely nothing. And regarding wages, I think you could be looking anything between £5,000, maybe £10,000 a week at most to get Emmanuel Dennis into your football club. But he would be a very, very good addition to your team. If you are finding yourself in a relegation battle in the lower leagues, whether it's in the Championship, maybe it's in the lower ends of the Bundesliga, the lower end of the French division, Craig Dawson will be available on a free transfer. This guy, if you want to talk about experience, this is the man for you. Formerly of West Brom, Bolton, Watford, done really well at West Ham, went to Wolves for a short period of time. Yes, he's going to be 34, 35 upon the release of FM26, but as a centre-back, he's still got a lot to offer any club. If you're in a relegation dogfight, I think Craig Dawson is going to be a player you want to bring in, not just for his on-field qualities, but also his off-field experience, helping the team, nurturing the younger players. We can expect his physicals to drop off somewhat, but his mentals are really going to be helpful on and off the football field. Like I said, if you're in a relegation dogfight to potentially stay in maybe the Championship, you can't go wrong. Yes, he's ageing, but I think he's definitely got 1, maybe even 2 more seasons of football left in the tank. He's not going to improve, but he definitely could be an important part to your jigsaw if you are to retain your position in the league. You could probably expect to pay anything from £3,000 to £5,000 a week to get this guy's signature. If you can get your hands on him, if you're fearful of the dreaded drop zone and you're taking on a bit of a challenge, I think Craig Dawson could be the player for you to pop in at centre-half and maybe even just keep you in the division. Up next is Viktor Kovalenko, the former Empoli, Atalanta and Shakhtar man. Ukrainian international, 33 caps to his name, which is not an easy thing to do. Still got a lot to offer any football team, really. Play anywhere down the spine, preferred in centre midfield, can push on into that cam if required, getting you a few goals, getting you a few assists. Is he a world beater? Absolutely not. But if you find yourself down towards the foot of the table, lacking a little bit of quality in the centre of the park, maybe Viktor Kovalenko could be the man for you. And I think you're only going to have to spend maybe between £8,000 to £12,000 per week in wages to bring him in. It'd be a good addition. And like I said, he could just help you to secure your short-term goals on FM26. Up next is a real fan favourite for all of us FM lovers. It is Vincent Aboubakar, the former Porto, Besiktas, Al Nassr striker. And yes, played for many teams. He's been around for a while. But what does he do? He scores goals. He's got 122 in 311 appearances for all of his clubs. His technicals and his mentals are still better than ever. Yes, his physicals are dropping. He is going to be 32, 33 years of age on FM26, so we can expect the physical to drop again. But the Cameroonian international, if you get him in your team, you can bring him in on a free transfer. What is he going to do? He's going to score goals. He may not be able to get around this pitch as much anymore. He's not as mobile, but rest assured, put him as a poacher in the sort of penalty area, and he will get goals. He will get you some points. And I think he really is a player for all occasions, whether you're just trying to challenge for the Conference League, whether you're trying to finish in mid-table, whether you're trying to keep away from the relegation zone. You know, get this guy in. He plays football. He's going to get you some goals. He's not the most mobile. He's still got another good year or two in him. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Vincent Aboubakar is a legend of Football Manager, and I think we'll be wrong not to give him another shot on FM26. I think we can expect to pay a relatively small amount of wages, maybe between £10,000 £20,000 a week at most. It may be less than that, but a player that's going to score you goals and potentially could just help you confirm your short-term goals at your new club. The last two players we are going to look at are both goalkeepers. The first one, it brings us to the very experienced Fraser Forster, formerly of Tottenham, Southampton, Celtic, Newcastle. Has a lot of experience, a lot of game times at the highest level, even 6 caps for England a few years ago now. Still got a lot to offer. His goalkeeping qualities, you're not going to lose them. His mentals are improving, of course, with age. His physicals are not great, but they don't really need to be much better than what they are anyway, considering he's just a bog standard goalkeeper. But if you're short of a good number 2 and you're playing in the Premier League, Fraser Forster could be the answer. Whether you're even in the La Liga, Serie A, he would be a very, very good number 2 to have, bringing not just quality on the field, but an abundance of experience and off-field qualities as well in Fraser Forster. If you're after a first-choice goalkeeper, I still think he could do a job potentially in the Championship. You know, whether you're vying for a playoff position, whether you're fighting for some sort of automatic promotion. Could Fraser Forster do a job? Could he keep the goals out? Could he potentially fight you to success? Absolutely. Fraser Forster on a free transfer. He's probably one of the better goalkeepers available for absolutely nothing. Wages, I think you're looking at about £5,000 to maybe £6,000, £7,000 per week to get him in. Solid goalkeeper. Whether it's a new number 2 or whether it's a brand new number 1, even for just a season, Fraser Forster is available on the market for absolutely nothing. And the final player of my selection of the best free agents available at this moment in time brings us to the Frenchman, Arthur Desmas, formerly of Le Havre in League 2 in France. Spent a couple of seasons at Clermont, half of that in League 1. Rodez as well, started his career at Brest. Never really featured for him, but look at the stats on here. Of course, these are all subject to change upon release of FM26, but a very, very solid goalkeeper. Of course, this guy's not going to win you Champions Leagues and Europa League, Serie A's, La Liga. He's not that good of a goalkeeper, but I think for a free transfer, he can come in. He can definitely do a job. You're going to be able to get him for literally next to nothing on wages, at most £5,000 a week for a real quality goalkeeper. He's still got plenty of years left in the tank to try and improve. 29 years of age for a goalkeeper. He's a baby. You know, goalies can play till up to 40 years of age and still keep that quality. So Arthur Desmas, I think if you're a high-end Championship team, someone like a Birmingham City, a Wrexham, a Southampton, a Leicester, this guy could come in and he will definitely do a job, potentially lead you to glory, to promotion, and then go from there. Is he going to be a goalkeeper for a long-term save? Of course not, but for a very, very short-term solution, I think Arthur Desmas could be the goalkeeper for you. So that is my selection of the best free transfers available at this current moment in time. We know it could change between now and release of the game, but some quality players in there. If they don't have clubs, guys, pounce on these. There's some quality in there. No transfer fee. Wages are all relatively small. It's an absolute win-win scenario. Whether it's just a short-term solution or some of these players you want to keep for long-term, there's a fair amount of quality in there, fair amount of versatility. Don't miss out on these players. If there are any players you think that should be in this video and I haven't put them in, drop them down below in the comments, only if they're on a free transfer. People out there watching this video, look at the comments, might think, oh, that's the player for me. So don't be shy, let me know down below. But as always, guys, make sure to like, subscribe as we head on now into the future, ready to play FM26. I am absolutely pumped. Don't forget, guys, I'm running a competition. If you want to be in it to win it, all you've got to do is to be a subscriber to the channel and also comment on the giveaway post as well. Until next time, guys, take care of yourselves. FM Rage is out of here.